Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shaper Sessions. My name is Jake,
And I'm Russ.
and today it's cutting board season.
It is. It's holiday time. And so we're going to show you all how to make one of these. We're going to add a sweet engraving to it, personalize this. This is all enabled by some really cool new studio remixing features that we've been working on that we just released. So that's going on. We're going to also show you some other designs. We thought, we've done the cutting board thing so often. We want to add something to this. Right. So not only are we going to remix one of these cutting boards, engrave it, do all that. Also, the second half of the show, we are going to go through some of our other favorite studio remixable designs. Mm-hmm. There are some really sweet sign making examples in there that would be great gifts for grandkids, etc. And then we're also going to show you how to make one of these personalizable, remixable studio designs, and then share that.
Yeah, so somebody
the community can work on it.
Exactly. As always, this is a live show, so now's your chance to get in all those good questions. We have Ted in the chat.
Yeah,
Ted's in the chat. He's going to be answering as many questions as he can, and saving the juicy ones for us at the end during the Q&A to go over. We're also going to give stuff away.
Yeah. So to enter that giveaway, you're going to answer the poll question that pops up in the middle of the screen halfway through the show. Don't ask me what it is right now because I'm kind of blanking on that one, but we will get back to you on that. There's going to be a poll question. We're going to give some stuff away. And last announcement before we get started, it is our holiday promo. Reminder that holiday promo ends on December 20th, which is really coming up. It's right around the corner. This is the biggest deal that we have ever done. When you buy the complete Shaper system, you're going to save over $800, and that includes, most importantly, I'm going to say this right up front, $300 cash.
Biggest yet.
We've never done that before. So $300 cash off the complete system, accessory kit, which comes with a customizable mini sustainer, a roll of double-sided tape, which we're going to use all throughout the show today, a Shaper beanie, a pry bar, clearing brushes. Then also 2 training classes with Jake and I to get you started on the Shaper system from the ground up. Similar format, live, Q&A, all of that. And then also, there's one more thing, 9 free premium project plans.
Yeah.
Those premium project plans are super step-by-step projects from everything from little home goods like our candle holder to big furniture like some chairs, etc., that really help you get your head wrapped around how to use the tool and break everything down for you, because that's a really good way to learn.
It is. We always like to start off the show with a little bit of sawdust. Let some people join.
Yeah, filter in.
So I'm going to get cutting. I have some cherry in front of me here on Workstation, on the shelf of Workstation.
Yeah, let's pull up Origin. We can look on the screen as to what this cutting board looks like, because you've got this pulled up here, don't you? Or we're going to go ahead and import and place that.
I'm going to grab that and place.
Nice. You've got a grid going, all this. We'll show you, again, how to design all this stuff and set it up on Origin. But just as some people filter into the show here, we're going to get to cutting and zip out some cutting board profile.
All right. I'm going to do this in 4 passes with the 8mm bit. That's what my auto pass settings look like, and I'm running speed 5.
Okay. Jake, watch out for the plug on this one, because I know that when you cut these circles and you've got that plug in the middle, sometimes that likes to pop free and it gets jammed up in there. So always reminder to the folks at home, make sure you watch out for those plugs when you're cutting something like this. And for everybody who's watching, welcome to Shaper Sessions. This is our live show demonstrating Origin and the Shaper system, how you can use it in your shop. We probably have a lot of new folks this week because last week we did a really sweet giveaway for, that was, I believe, some Bourbon Moth Instagram folks. We gave away his Gen 1 trade-in Shaper Origin. So welcome to everybody who's new and watching this for the first time. This is Shaper Origin. It's our handheld CNC router. And right now Jake is using this to cut out the outer profile of a pretty sweet contoured cutting board. the way Origin works, you've got this dot that's following the dotted line. The dot represents the center of your spindle, so that's the center of your router bit. The crosshairs you want to keep roughly over that dotted line. That keeps you on track. That circle represents your corrective range. And as you just saw there, if you go outside the corrective range, Origin is going to automatically retract to save your work. That's how it works in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a lot to learn about this, so on these sessions, we try to cover a different application every week. It's the holiday gift-giving season, so here we are making some cutting boards. You can see there Jake is working on Workstation, our solution for both vertical work holding and really flexibly holding parts of different thickness. This cutting board is kind of a weird thickness. It's 0.9 inches. It's just the most that I could get out of this board that we sawed up before the show. And Workstation makes it really easy to work with whatever thickness material you have. The reason that's important is because you want Origin's base, just like any other router, to be riding on a nice smooth surface, but you also need that tape out in front of Origin. So what this tape does, if we go back to the detail cam there, thank you, what this tape does is allows Origin to position itself in space. It's got a camera that's always looking out in front of it, and it's using that camera to triangulate the position of that spindle. Pretty sweet camera rig there, too. So we're cruising around. Jake is on his third of 4 passes. We did 3 roughing passes, and we're going to do 1 finishing pass. When you're looking at Origin's screen, the blue area represents material that you've cut, removed. The gray, which is covered by the blue right now, but you would see before you started to cut, represents the area that you're about to remove. That black line that's just on the inside of the blue area here, that's our final template dimension. That's what we're cutting to. Like I said, we're doing a roughing and a finishing pass here. So there's a little bit of space on that roughing pass, and then we'll come back and remove just that last little bit of material on the finishing pass. And as we come around, Jake's going to come into his finishing pass. What's nice about AutoPass is that it helps you seamlessly transition from that roughing pass to that finishing pass, and also through the 3 depths that Jake cycled through. So he didn't have to pause and update that depth manually or anything. He was just able to let AutoPass figure that out and bring him right down to that final depth in a series of kind of reasonable steps. You can see he's also moving a lot more slowly and carefully on this finish pass, because that's when you get your final finish edge quality. When you're roughing, you want to remove all that material as fast as possible, and sometimes on this show we might take it a little on the fast side. But when you're finishing, you want to make sure that you just keep it nice and smooth, and that'll give you the best possible results. Nice. That was really something. Pretty dusty.
What you were saying about that plug?
What plug?
It got stuck in my
that plug
in my hose, and so now it's
okay. Yeah, the plug of the handle. Yeah, I always stop to pull those out.
Yeah,
just as it breaks free.
They definitely can, if they're big enough. They can kind of get bound up in there and make you retract when you didn't mean to.
That one was just small enough to jam up the dust hose. Hey, but that looks pretty good.
That looks great.
How's that retraction looking? Do we see any scar on the side there?
Nothing.
Okay. That's why we do the roughing pass and the finishing pass. How about that?
Exactly.
We had a big enough mistake on the last show to hold us over for a couple months here, I think.
Yeah. No.
That was fun. Everybody go back and watch that one if you missed it. We got to plug was that last week or 2 shows ago?
That was plugging or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, plugging that hinge mortise. That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Looks good.
How do we make it?
let's make a cutting board. Good segue. We designed all this stuff in Studio. I mean, we're making gifts for the holidays, but really what we want to teach you today is how to work with Shaper Studio to personalize gifts for yourself and how to use this remixing, sharing feature to both take advantage of things that other people have designed and also design stuff that you can share. So let's pop over to ShaperHub, because the first place that we're going to start when we're remixing a design like this is a new section that we just released in ShaperHub here called Studio Designs. So if you look here, this is the ShaperHub that you know and love. We got our featured projects here, popular projects, etc. But right up here, you see a new button, and this is for shared studio designs. So let's click on this and see where it takes us. Here we are. We've got 146 shared studio designs right now, and we've got all kinds of things here. We've got sustainer outlines for a Sys1, that customizable mini sustainer that you're going to get with the promo. So if you wanted to customize your mini sustainer, you could start here. We've got a bow tie that you can scale, fixture creation kits for things like Shaper Plate, Shaper Workstation. And then if we scroll down, you can see more fun things for the home, pet bowl stand, symmetric handle. And people have already started to contribute to this. We've got a cool mountain scene here. If we scroll down some more, we've got a cutout for the Shaper caliper that you might want to use for your Sys1. But we're looking at these cutting board handles today. So to find all of those, I'll just search for handle. And here's your big list of options. Obviously, people are going to add to this, and we're really excited to see what people make. But today we're working with something that we shared here at Shaper, this symmetric square handle. And when we click into this, you can see that it's got both an image of that 2D shape. We've got a short little description. Add this handle to your design and scale to fit for a unique cutting or serving board. We're going to do exactly that. And now, how do I start to open this and work with it? I'm going to go ahead and open in Studio. And this is a cool reminder that as of this year, all the features of Studio are free to everybody. So we really encourage you to check that out. And everybody gets 3 free exports a month. So you can use these cool features. You can design your own cutting board. You can do 3 a month. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do here is sync to my files. Once it's synced, then I can go ahead and edit that. So I'll click this edit button. And that takes me into a new design. It's automatically going to name that as a copy of the design that you are forking or remixing. So let's go ahead and rename this so it's something that I can keep track of better. Jake, I think I should make you a holiday gift today. What do you think?
Perfect.
Jake and Jamie, holiday board. Nice. Obviously, we have just a handle here, so we want to add something to that over here. And you could do all different sorts of things. You could add a circle to this if you had a big circular piece of wood. We're working with just a 8-inch wide cherry board, so I'm going to add a rectangle to this. And I measured some of this stuff before the show. I want to make it 8 inches tall. That's going to make it match this cutting board handle here. And then I want to make it 13 inches wide to fit the board that we have. That's a nice looking rectangle. And if I drag it over here, it snaps right to that shape. This button at the top right lets you recenter. Super easy right there. The first thing I'm going to do is hit Control A to select all, and I'm going to shape shift these together. Shapeshifter is our easy way to combine shapes. It's really powerful. We'll use this more later when we create a shareable holiday ornament. We'll click just these two. I want to leave this hanging hole open. Never know when you want to hang your cutting board up. Make that shape. And there we go. We've just remixed a cutting board handle into a cutting board. Adding text is the same as ever. Just hit that add text button. Let's do J and J. And this is really small. It's not the font that I want. It's in the middle here, so we have a few things to change. The first thing I want to do is pick a font. And since we're going to be engraving this with Origin, my favorite fonts for engraving are these single line fonts. And since it's a gift, I really like this script, Big Tomato. That's going to look really tasteful. click out of that and zoom to center everything again, just so I can look at this kind of in place in the cutting board. Still pretty small. Let's make this 1.5 inches tall. I like that. And I want this over here somewhere. Let's make this, just to give it some numbers, minus 0.6 in X and 1.4 in Y. And there's a cutting board right there. That's a start. The second step, which I forgot to do before the show, and this is why we had an online cut when you started, is go to plan mode. A lot of these shared shapes are in kind of a neutral cut style. This online cut, pre-programmed as an online cut. We want to keep that online cut for the engraving, but for that cutting board, I would make this an outside cut. I know that this cutting board is 0.9 inches thick. I'll cut this with an 8mm bit, and I know that that clears out that circle there. Then for the J and J here, let's select all of these by holding Shift and clicking. We'll keep those online. I want to make these really shallow. Let's just say 0.02. And let's use a small engraving 0.02 diameter bit for that. And now if we review, you can see we've got this nice bold outline. That's exactly what we want. That's cutting all the way through. And then a nice shallow engraving.
Sweet.
That's all there is to it. So this makes it way easier to start with a cool design that somebody else has made and shared, and then kind of bake that into whatever you want to make for yourself.
I love it. I got to ask a question now. What if you didn't want to make an 8-inch wide cutting board?
This is very important because our material is actually slightly less than 8 inches wide. This is a good reminder. All right, let's Control A, select this whole thing. Let's link that height and the width there. And we can make this, instead of 8 inches tall, I think I wanted to make this 7.5, so that's what we're starting with. That just scales the whole thing.
Nice.
And you could do just the height, you could do the height and the width. I think I had these linked when I scaled them before I sent them to you. This would show up immediately on Origin. Jake already has a copy on Origin because we designed this before the show. So it's already over there. We could try to line things up again and make that all flashy.
Yeah, but
I think you actually got rid of your corner point on this because you
I absolutely
cut through the stock on this one. The stock's gone.
Yeah.
So we should just leave it how it is. What do you think?
You know what? I bet I could get away with a rectangular probe, though. Yeah. I could still find the center of this.
You could find the center of that.
Make sure to update your tools, everybody, to Larkspur.
Okay, let's go through that. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Just for kicks and giggles, let's say that, oh no, we've lost our cut file.
I picked it up and I put it back down. I took my material off a workstation, so I don't remember where anything is.
How am I ever supposed to? I'll even go one step further and just create a new grid or a new scan.
New scan, yeah. You took your material off. You want to go back. You want to make an engraving. Let's start again with a new scan. So reminder for the new folks, a scan is making this image map that Origin works off of. So if we zoom out here, we can see our entire workspace, including that cutting board that we already cut. Rectangle probe is a new feature that's included with Larkspur, our latest free system update. That's in Create, Rectangle Probe Rectangle, I should say. And what you're going to do here is you're going to pick 6 points. No, it's 5, actually. 2 on one edge and then 1 on each of the remaining 3 edges. And by picking those 6 points, 5 points, I said it again, Origin's gonna know the size of the rectangle you're working with. It's going to create a grid at the center point. It's also going to create a rectangular shape that is the same shape and size of the rectangle that you're probing.
Yeah. Quick note, I'm making sure if I had a pre-existing grid on, I want to make sure that grid is highlighted because I want this rectangular probe to create a new grid for me. So if that's not highlighted, it will just create the shape.
You have a 1/4 inch probe in there?
I do.
Nice.
Going 1, 2, all the way out on that handle. Thankfully, we have a nice flat edge. 3, Sneak around the back. 4.
And you can see when Jake made that 4th point, it started making these center lines here for him.
Bingo.
Yeah, there we go.
And that is the very center of my cutting board.
All right, let's import another one.
Use that center anchor point and drop at 0, 0.
Does that look like the same length and width to you?
It does.
Okay, perfect.
Boom.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. All right, I have my engraving bit in there already. I have not Z-touched because I wanted to just remind everyone that there are 2 types of Z-touches, 2 ways to Z-touch. You have your automatic, which we do with most of our bits, anything like 1/8 of an inch and up. We would just do an automatic, which is going to touch off in the material. Don't need to worry about it, hands off of the tool. If you're working with really small bits or really sharp bits, we're going to encourage you to do a manual Z-touch. So, change my bit size to the engrave. And it even actually suggests, if it's a small bit, that you do a manual Z-touch.
Mm-hmm. What is that? Under a 1/16 of an inch, I think?
Something like that, yeah. Anything that could leave a little impression in the wood. If you wouldn't mind hopping down to this lower camera, I'm holding that green button and physically lowering the bit until I'm just above or just touching the material. Set 0 to finish, and there we go.
Perfect.
Now we can trust that our 0.02 is definitely 0.02, not 0.02 plus however far a sharp bit went into the wood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to buzz this out.
Okay, are we changing anything about speeds on this?
We're going to just bring down our spindle speed to a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And let's double check our autos. Yeah, 15 feels all right. If I was doing a lot of text, I might bump that up for the sake of time, but 15 feels good.
Great. So engraving, not removing much material. We usually turn the spindle speed down on this one more than anything because it's quieter and it's easier on the ears. So go ahead and feel free to turn that spindle speed down when you're engraving. It's kind of counter to the general idea of turning the spindle speed up when you work with a smaller bit. Because when you work with a smaller bit, the kind of tangential point on these smaller cutters isn't going linearly quite as fast as the edge of a bigger cutter would be at the same RPM. But again, for an engraving, we're not removing that much material. It's not really taxing the cutter or the spindle at all. And so it's totally okay to turn that down and just give yourself a quiet shot for a minute. Sometimes I don't even turn the vacuum on when I'm engraving. Don't tell Jake.
Very nice.
It's very tasteful. Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
From me.
All right. Pop that off.
Oh, yeah. That double-sided tape sure is something.
I mean, you can't buy one without the other, honestly. Get in there. I think that leads us into our break.
Yeah, I think so. So while you're prying that up, let's pull up that poll question. And that's just going to be, where did you first hear of Shaper Sessions? Curious to know. While that's up, remember, enter that poll question to win the giveaway. We give this stuff away, usually some router bits, collets, swag packs, something like that, at the end of the show when we do our Q&A. If you haven't asked a question yet, please do, because this is what we're here to do, is answer those questions live. While the poll is up, we've got a few things to talk about. Reminder that this is our holiday promo right now, until the 20th, so ending soon. Let's go ahead and pull up my computer over here so that we can look at this. biggest deal of the year, biggest deal of ever, I think, so far. When you buy the complete Origin system, you're going to save over $800, and that's $300 cash system discount, plus 9 free project plans, 2 training classes with Jake and I to get you started, everything you need to know, 1 free Shaper beanie, and an accessories kit, which includes a Shaper branded mini sustainer, customizable. We showed you the template to customize that in a shared studio design earlier. A roll of 2-inch double-sided tape, pry bar, and some clearing brushes. So check that out at shapertools.com/holiday deal. We also have some other things that you might want to check out on our website. Number 1, we've got a Find a Dealer page.
Yes. If you want to get hands on the tool, because again, we always say seeing is one thing, but feeling is believing. You can find a dealer on our webpage.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And also, if you're looking for a dealer in Australia, we actually just opened up sales in Australia for the first time ever. So check that out as well for our friends down under. We also just launched this year's Ultimate Bit Kit and the Bit Washer, which I've got right behind me. We showed off at the last show in a little bit more detail. We've got some really good videos on how that works on our YouTube page. The gist of it is that it's an ultrasonic bit washer with a specially formulated resin remover, and it's going to keep your bits super clean, start the year off with sharp router bits.
Yes.
Great. With the announcements out of the way, I think it's time for our last shop tour of the year.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it.
This one's from McGrath. So thank you, McGrath, for sending that out to us.
Hi, welcome to my Southwest workshop. We built this shop about 3 years ago after about 30 plus years of working out of a one-car garage. Believe it or not, all of the tools you'll see in this shop all fit in a one-car garage at one point. We didn't have all this cabinet work that I built, but all of the tools are on wheels, and so just move tools around to be able to use it. This is my hand tool work area. Most of my hand tools are in this area, including things like hand saws and marking gauges and so on. Got a big glass roll-up door that's great when the weather's nice. We just open that up and get plenty of fresh air in here. Starting over here, we got a mortiser, a 3D printer, old fine woodworking magazines from years and years ago. Lots of storage for router and drilling and router tools, extra routers, and so on and so forth. Drill press, turning area, miscellaneous hardware, sharpening station, and then of course more space for all the things that go with sharpening, and wood turning blanks, and making stuff, and so on. We've got the central dust collection system, which right now is still a manual system where I plug the dust collection into the tool that I'm using, which is not too bad, but I actually have a system designed by Oneida, hard duct system with automatic gates that I have yet to still install. Little bathroom. This whole shop is designed to be converted into a casita in the future, so all the electrical and plumbing is stubbed out to have a kitchen and a shower and bedroom over here and so on. Got a planer joiner, 12-inch planer joiner, some sanding machines, wood storage, and again, all this storage for everything from glue up materials to sanding supplies, so on. Local dust collection for the miter station and for the shaper. Origin, got a clamp rack, some fest tools, domino, track saw, sander, drill driver, and so on. And then of course the Origin workstation area. I built this top up on top of this machinist cabinet to put it more at a working height that's easy for me to work with. thinking of drilling a bunch of holes in this top to make it like a MFT top. And just a little pro tip for those of you that are tired of reaching down and plugging your workstation or your Origin in and out, I got a little wireless remote and plugged that sender receiver into the wall and plugged the Origin to that. So turning on the Origin is just a simple push of a button here. All of the accessories for working with Origin. And then machinist tools down here. Bandsaw. And another set of big glass doors. It lets lots of natural light into the shop, and when it's open, allows nice breezes, cross breezes come through the shop. Got saw stop table saw with the router table at the end, which I just love. Not having to move routers in and out and be able to set up quickly for a router table operation. And this is the last project that I worked on. As you can see, I used Shaper to inlay the cigar shape in the top of the humidor and the engraving bit to engrave the cigars into the brass pull here. I learned how to make banding, did veneering. That was kind of new learning for me. Anyways, that's my shop. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I love watching these because I swear every single one gives me a new like shop goal bucket list. Like now I need glass roll-up doors in my future dream shop. Have to have them.
I love the tip about the remote for the power switch.
Oh yeah.
We'd be in trouble if we had one of those here, though. Thank you so much, McGrath. We will get back to you via email. Sorry, that's on me. Taking a minute on that. But thank you for sending that. We'll get back to you and send you something nice. So we really appreciate shop tour videos. If you have a shop tour to send us, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, send those to us at sessions@shapertools.com. That's our email address. What do you think about going into more studio remixing?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're back here on ShaperHub. We've got some really cool studio designs that I want to show you because I think remixing these is just so fun and they're so well designed, and you can make some really sweet things for people you love. Specifically, these are signs with text, and we've done these in a really clever way where you can update the text. There's one that I'm looking for that's an elephant sign, but you know what I'm going to do? Oh, here. I could just search for sign, but I'll just click on this elephant name sign. And we're going to open this in Studio. What you're going to see is that this is all editable. So you can make this for whoever you want. Let's open that in Studio. Sync to my files. Edit. And here's what's cool. Make editable to customize name. Then select all objects and shapeshift to make a singular shape. So we've got some instructions here as reference text. And you can see the difference here between these two. This one has the text that has not been shapeshifted together. It's all individual letters. This one has been shapeshifted together, so this isn't going to be editable down here at the bottom. There's no undo button on this one once you've shared a design. So we're going to, if you're sharing a design, and we'll go over this some more, you want to make sure that you share it without that text locked in and shapeshifted together. So what we're going to do is take this, we're going to unlock, make editable. Let's actually click and drag and make all of this editable. I think because I did the one, I can't do them all actually, but it's only 4 shapes. Make editable. That's nice. Here we are. Emmet. I mean, heck, who do we want this to be for? Jake and Jamie?
Do another Justin.
Justin. Okay.
A 6-letter word.
Yeah.
5, 6.
Justin. There
That
we go.
fits.
Yeah, it fits. It's a little bit taller, so I'm just going to use the arrow keys to bump that down because we want the bottom row of this text to be connected by that bottom line. And then I can select all of this. Shape shift. Okay, and I'm going to pick just what I want to keep.
Nice. Now when we go to
I'm a little too zoomed out. There we
you
go.
go. When we go to cut this, it'll all be one piece that you can hang on the wall, or
Yeah, stick to a door. I don't think we need to cut this one specifically because we've got the Christmas tree ornament that we're doing. But when you do this at home, now you've got one solid piece.
nice.
There you go. So that's how you can take these studio designs and customize them for yourself. We do have one more, though, that we want to show you that was super quick. We're going to design from start to finish a little bulb, personalizable Christmas bulb.
Yeah, and then we also want to show you how you can actually share it as a design, similar to how this person made this sign. They gave you a solidified version or a shape-shifted version,
Yeah,
and the edited version to
and the editable version.
give you an idea of what you're working with. That was
Exactly.
very
Very
considerate.
considerate of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what you want to do when you use text and share stuff. So let's make something new. Main menu, new design. We'll call this Christmas ornament. Okay. And let's see, how do we draw one of these? It's just a bulb, so it's going to be a circle. I think we want that to be 3 inches in diameter. We want one of those little caps on it. I think probably a 1/2 inch is good for this in width and height. And we can just snap this up here by eye. We want a little bit of overlap. Zoom to fit again. We want something to hang this with, so we'll do some little hanging circles at the top. Again, we want a little bit of overlap there. The snapping is making this really fast. Do a 1/4 inch on that one. Drag it, and it'll just snap to the center of that circle. We've got our hanging hole up there. I want kind of a frill on the top here to make it look a little more Christmassy. What do you think about that? That's a place to start. And then let's add another one here, a little farther out. I like that. Kind of snapped position. We'll do this one a little farther up. You can also hit Control D to duplicate these shapes. And that's mirrored right there. I like that. Is that mirrored? There, that's mirrored. There we go. And we need some text. You know what? Let's do all the shape shifting on this.
Yeah, because
before we
right
do the
now it
text.
looks like it's going to be a Mickey or Minnie Mouse.
A Mickey Mouse Christmas ornament. Okay, yeah, let's get this to the next step here with some shape shifting. There's 2 things that we want. We want this big overall outline, and then we also want this little frill that's going to be engravable, let's say. So I'm going to select A, or Control A to shape shift everything. The first thing that I want is just the outline of this ornament. So it's going to be, there we go, got that sliver. It's going to be the bulb, the cap, and the hanging hole.
Nice.
But I'm going to do some more to this, so I'm going to keep existing shapes. Make shape. So we have a new shape now, but we still have all the old shapes. I think that I actually want to bring these down a little bit, and I'm going to bring these in.
You do that too? Count the number of times you tap the arrow keys?
10 taps. 5 taps, 10 taps. Make that symmetric. Okay, so now let's get this little engraving here. Studio does not draw open paths. Studio draws closed paths for now. And so what we want to do is make a closed path that includes this frill here. Let's do this. Control A, shape shift again. And really all we're going to do is keep this one. We want to keep all the shapes for now, but we're going to delete all the extras. But this is the new shape that we're making. This is going to give us that frill at the top for engraving.
Very cool.
Make that shape. Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff in here. When I hit Control A, which is select all, it says I have 9 shapes in my selection manager over here. I can click on this. I want to delete everything except for these 2. So I'll just click on the bulb and the scallop to deselect those. And then I can just hit delete.
Boom.
And we're left with just 2. How's that?
I love that.
Now, let's add some text. I'm going to go with Jake again. You've just got such a good name for TV.
Fast and easy to engrave.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go back to that big tomato. Again, I love that. Recenter everything. That's pretty small. This bulb is 3 inches wide, so what if we make Jake 2 inches wide? A little bit above center, and you know what I want to do to fill this space? Is add the year. Jake 2024. Let's make this same font again. Recenter everything. And we can bring this right there.
Beautiful.
What do you think?
I think it's great.
Okay, we've got to plan this out. Last but not least, overall, this is going to be an outside cut. 1/4 inch bit is going to give us at least a little bit of these tight corners in here, just enough to kind of differentiate that. I think that's okay.
I got an 1/8 inch ready to go.
I said a 1/4 inch, but I meant an 1/8 inch.
There you go.
So we're on the same page. Everything else is going to be an online cut. Let's make this 0.02 depth, 0.02 bit. Same with all of this lettering. .02 depth, 0.02 bit. And what depth do we want for the outside? I think a little over an 1/8 inch is going to cut through that.
I think so too.
Let's go for 0.2. I know that's overkill, but that'll do it. And now if we go to review mode, here we go. We've got an ornament cut out. We've got our little frill. We've got Jake 2024.
Nice.
What is the depth on that? I saw you just measured it.
0.187.
Okay, so 0.2 is good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to our design. You'll notice I didn't shapeshift these letters. These are still editable if you go into edit text here. It's less important to shapeshift the single line font letters and combine them all together than it is these big, bold outline style letters. But the important thing is that we're going to share this. So you want to make sure that all of this stuff is still editable with this edit text button for the next guy. Because there are way more people out there than just Jake's.
It's true.
So to save this and share it, we'll go out here to share design. That's in the main menu. And this is going to just ask us a couple really easy things. Do I want to keep this shareable with a link but private? Or do I want to make it shareable and listed? And this is what's going to put that on that ShaperHub page for everybody to work with and remix. Description. Here's a Christmas ornament for your tree or a gift. Personalize it. Just edit the name. You don't have that much space to write here. 200 characters. We want to keep this simple and easy. Save. You can always go back and edit this stuff later also. You also get a link to share this on Facebook with your friends or email to your uncle or whoever. Done. So here, again, I can go in and edit that page if I want to. Since this is saved, this should sync automatically to Origin. Again, not to confuse saving with sharing. Studio's always saving and synchronizing things to Origin, but when you share, that's kind of a discrete point where it gets kind of locked in and then shared publicly with everybody. And if somebody syncs that, they're not going to be getting any weird updates. It's not going to break their design in the future in any way. You share something and it's kind of locked in. That's my impression.
Very cool. That's available to anyone now.
That's available to everyone. Yeah.
All right. Got some white oak here with some of the double-sided tape on the back. Just going to line that up on my shelf and bring that shelf up to the top. Bam. All right, I still have that engraving bit in there, so I'm just going to rock that first. But let's go ahead and scan in our new piece. There it is, right there at the top of our list. And just a visual placement for this is fine. Cool. Now I'm going to do a little bit of selective engraving for this top. I don't necessarily need to engrave the entire shape. So I'm just going to plunge right here in that corner, come across, and retract.
Yep. And my tip for this is that Origin wants to kind of snap itself, the auto correction, to the closest point in that corrective range. So if you start on the outside of that corner, the closest point is going to be the point, the corner of that engraving. And then we want to end up in kind of a similar position on the other side so it doesn't auto advance past that.
Nice. I'll do that one slow.
Yeah, cool.
All right, let's get it.
All right, selecting that engraving, starting at that corner, then plunging, and there we go. You want to make sure that you're following the direction of the dotted line on this one. So perhaps if Jake had started on this other corner, Origin wouldn't have wanted him to go what we're thinking of as the right way. That's because Origin typically tries to prevent us from doing anything like climb cutting. But then when we are working with a closed path, it just kind of needs to pick a direction there. So anyway, if you start in one corner and you get hung up, make sure that you just try the other corner and it'll get you going the right direction. Jake, this is a new thing with, I think, the last software update. We've got auto pass for open paths on now, and so I want to make sure that you're not ramping too far into this. You see that? How's it look? What do you think? Looks good? Okay, short ramp on that one. Cool thing with Larkspur, we just released AutoPass support for open paths, which wasn't previously available, along with AutoPass support for pocketing. So if you have this paid extension, that's a free upgrade for everybody out there. Cool thing about these smaller letters, or numbers in this case, is that they fit entirely within Origin's corrective range. So by double-clicking that green button, Jake can set himself into auto lock mode, and that means that Origin is going to drive itself all the way along that path, all the way up to the end. Pretty good?
Very good.
So auto pass with those open paths is something we're going to have to get used to. But what it does for the folks at home is ramps you easily into that open path, and it'll actually step you down in depths if you want to get a super deep open path engraving. For example, that really deep Larkspur sign that we did for the Larkspur launch show. We put that one away. But really handy for that, and again, it ramps you down step by step for that one.
Yeah, I think it's because we're so shallow that the ramp is
minimal,
undetectable.
Yeah.
All right, going in with that 1/8 inch bit. C-touching. And our depth is going to be 0.2. Yeah, we can do that in 2 passes.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
So here's a quick one, zipping out that hole. Again, we're in that auto lock mode. And now just cutting out this profile. Looks like we're ramping down to our final depth. And then roughing that out, then we'll come back and take just a little bit of a finishing pass on this one. Again, Jake doesn't have to stay right on that line. Origin does that autocorrect for him. Anywhere inside this circle, the autocorrect works equally well. Just the closer you get to the edge of that circle, the more your chance of retracting if you go outside the line, if you make a kind of a bump or a jostle on that. But the autocorrect is going to keep you exactly on the path, kind of no matter where you are. It's not like it's more accurate closer to the crosshairs. Common myth. You can see it now, just taking that little skim pass all the way off the outer edge of the circle, and we're going to have a nice circular Christmas bulb.
There we go. Yeah,
Pretty good?
pretty good.
Pretty good. Look really good with a coat of finish on it.
Coat of finish, maybe nah, I was gonna say resin, but no.
No resin.
No resin. There we go.
Pretty nice. Merry Christmas. So go make your own. You're going to be able to find that on that Studio Designs page of ShaperHub. What do you think, Jake? Should we roll into that Q&A? It's been a good show.
Let's do it.
It's been almost an hour already. Got a lot of good studio sharing, studio tips in there. Thank you for everybody who's watching this after the fact on YouTube. Join us live next time so that you can get this Q&A that we're about to start.
Thanks.